for learning before they got it. Before they got it in this village. They just needed the family. Okay, we're going to start.
So the whole reason why rice is because of its political places. That's where the discussion that we're not sure if there's always rice. And dochan, I don't remember that English words. I've never heard it before.
Millet?
What's millet? Do we have a food they called millet?
Yeah. You want to
I don't. Huh?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a rice or something.
It's
It's a kind of a
compare it
grain.
closer to like a buckwheat sort of thing, although it's not brown.
Right.
But they have the similar.
And so they're saying that the oras mentioned in the Torah. So then what's dochan? So dochan is millet. Then what would oras be if dochan is millet?
Yeah. Ores
Is millet.
oh, so that's machleges. We have two things that we have, rice and millet.
Right.
Now, ores either means rice,
Right.
and dechem means millet, or ores means millet, and dechem means rice. Now, the bracha for ores is mezainis. The bracha for dechem is adama.
Got it.
We just don't know.
And so
we
we're
just don't know
mock. So
the
that's why we're
translation.
mock to be to the. Okay. Yeah. No, our house is moved forever. Yeah. Another reason is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a classic piece of Gemara that to take it down to the halacha. And that is well. Okay, Amar Mar Baravashi Aman Lamed Ches Amar Aleph. 7 lines from the top. Vi Amar Mar Baravashi. Mar Baravashi says. Mar Baravashi is very late in the Talmudic period. He's probably the end of the Rabbeinu Ravashi edited. This is his son. Hi Dubsha the Tamri. This date honey. The varchem ilavei shahakal ni'abidvari, you say shahakal on it. Comes from a date. You still say shahakal. My timer, why? If it's a date, say ha'etz. Zeya ba'almahu. It's just the sweat. It's just the moisture that comes out of it, but it's not the fruit itself. Come on, who does this go like? Ki hai tana, it goes like the following tana. So machlekes tanaim, if we say that juices that come from fruit, consider the fruit or not, or it's considered just the sweat that comes out of it. We'll see. The tanana was taught in the Mishnah. Vash, tmarim, honey that comes from dates, the yen kapuchim, apple cider. It means hard yayin of apples, the hard cider. Chaymet sufanios, and vinegar that comes from late season grapes, which are very sour. They'll never sweeten. And they would, the only thing that they were good for was vinegar. What was that?
No, hamafka.
In hamafka, okay. The Sharmei Peres and other fruits is a shel truma of truma. That means that's supposed to be given to the kohen. Comes along a non-kohen and he drinks it. Rashi adds in by mistake. Rabbi Elazar Mechayev Karen B'Chaimish. Rabbi Elazar says that he has to pay the principal. He also has to pay the extra fifth. Extra fifth goes as a fine for eating fruits of truma. Rabbi Shua Paiter. Rabbi Shua says that he's exempt from paying the fine, I assume. But doesn't say they have to pay the payment altogether. Payment altogether from paying anything. So he holds that this is not the truma. The truma is only the original fruit. That makes sense. So we see that Rabbi Yeshua's opinion is that what comes out of a date is not considered the fruit, and hence shahakal. Very good. He has a good support for that. From Mar Baravashi. Very strange conversation there. There was this young student, one of the students, that said to Rabbi, Trima Mahu, what bracha do you say on Trima? So, Lo have yadaite the Rabbi Micah Amalek. Rabbi doesn't know what he's talking about. So, Yosef Ravina Kamei the Rabbi. Now, Trima, I don't know if he understands how much of it he doesn't understand. Because Rashi right away translates Trima as something that's crushed but not mashed, not squished. So, but what's his question? Does he understand that much? I'm not sure. So, Yosef Ravina Kamei de Rava. On the side it says, oh, it can't be the Ravina that's in Bais Ravashi. It has to be an earlier one. Okay, that we actually have on our chart. Ravina here, earlier Ravina. Ravina Aleph. And that's Ravina Bais. Well,
Which one is
that would be the Ravina Bais on the chart. I think.
yeah.
I don't know. On our chart
Isn't
we
it
have
having
Ravina
one?
Ravashi. In the time of Ravashi, yeah. We'd have to lift both Ravinas up a little bit. Amar Lei, he tells this fellow, the Shum Shmi Kamret or the Kortmi Kamret. Were you referring to sesame? Are you referring to saffron? Or the Kurtzini? Or are you referring to grapes? The grape peels, probably. The Kurtzini Kamret, grape pits. Okay. It would make an extra process from the pits to make more wine. So, what are you referring to? See, there's something squished over here, squashed. What are you referring to? While Ravina is asking this fellow these questions, so then Rava realizes what he's referring to. And as the questions made him understand what this fellow was asking. Amar Lei, he tells him, Chashilta vadai kamet. He must be talking about Chashilta. To see what that means. But Kartan Milsa Adam Ravasi. And I just remembered something that Ravasi said. Hai Tamri Shel Truma, Mutalasis Mem Trima, Vasalasis Mem Shecha. That doesn't explain what the Chashilta is. Chashilta is a squished date. He says like this. He says that these dates of Truma, you're allowed to make them into Trima. That means you're allowed to squish them. And it's not considered ruining them. It's not considered removing them from being dates. They're still considered dates. Now, what that tells me is that the bracha would remain the same. This would be relevant for what's that bar? Lara bars. The Lara bars are made out of dates. Yeah, made out of dates. So what bracha is that? So it would depend. If it's just squished, if it's just crushed, so then it would be haitz. But if it's sort of liquefied and then put back into the mold, then it would be shahakal probably. We'll see later on. But right here, he's saying that if you have dates of truma, you're allowed to squish them and make them into whatever you would make them into, some mixture or something, and the bracha would remain the same. But you're not allowed to make beer out of it.
Why?
Well, because that would remove it from being its original status. I guess what would happen is the actual truma, which is will go to waste. Yeah.
Even though shefa is worth more than the.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a very interesting Tosfos over here that says, he starts off saying that all liquids are not considered, are not considered the fruits. All liquids except for wine and oil. Then he says, in our beer that we put in, I think he's referring to, we put in barley. He says that even though there could be a kazayas of barley, an olive size of barley, in a kadechilas pras, the amount of time it would take to eat half a loaf of bread when you eat that, when you drink that beer. So really, anything that has grain in it should be a mezainis. He says, but really, of beer, you shouldn't make a mezainis on. He says it doesn't really have the barley, it's only a flavor, and also the barley could have been turned into bread, and also it's you don't say mezainis on things that you drink, which is interesting.
Yeah, what's the reason I never said
First,
Then Taisus again on the bottom says the same thing.
first footnote, truma is the tahar that may be in Benapis, right?
Right. Okay, so it can't be destroyed. So if you would put it into beer, you would be destroying the truma, which is the actual fruit, and you would just be getting the water out of the liquid out of it. Okay, shasisa. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the hilchasa. The hilchasa. The hilchasa tamri bavdinu trima mavarchim lai bar creates. If you have dates and you make it into trima, that means you squish it. You say hates. My time I've been coming to the mikar. It stays the same as it was originally. I don't know. I actually called the Larabar company. But I don't know if I can. I asked them, does it turn into a liquid or does it just? They said no, it doesn't turn into a liquid. I think that's enough. I think it's a. I don't know. It's not a halacha share, but it appears to be. Okay, shasisa is toasted grains that are they mixed with something? I don't know. They're toasted grains. Rav Amar Shakal Nebedvar. Rav says he say Shakal. Shmuel Amar Bar Minimuzain. Shmuel says he say Mizain. Amar Rav Chisda like Rav Chisda says there's no machlekes. Rav Chisda is coming in here and he's saying that each one is saying they're talking about different things. Haba Aba, Ha Baraka. It must be it's mixed with something. Depends if it's thick or if it's loose. Ava Lachila Apila. If it's thick, then it's made for eating. It's a meal. And Rakal or Apila. If it's loose. A loose mixture here, something like that. Well, tchina would be sesame, right? This is the shisa. This is just toasted grains. The other thing, the shumshami, would have been the tchina. Yeah. What brachot did we say on that?
Normally we say brachos.
Right. So here we're saying that it's shahakal because it's a medicine. Maser Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef has a question. B'shavin shabaychshenes hashasis b'shabes shasisa is the shasis is toasted grains that are mixed in some sort of liquid. So Rav Yosef quotes a Mishnah. The Mishnah says that everyone agrees there's a machlekes about making this shasisa if it's a thick mixture. There's a problem of kneading. There's a problem with when it comes to instant oatmeal on Shabbos. If you make it, if you use a klisheni, make it. You don't have to worry about cooking. You have another issue that you're making a paste, which is like a dough.
We can do it.
That's a problem. I'm not saying if you can do it or not. I'm just discussing that there's an issue that needs to be. You have to overcome a certain issue, and that's that you're making a paste, which is like kneading. You're making a dough.
Creating
Yeah, well,
one form to another form.
yeah, I don't know if that's an issue, but I can make coffee, instant coffee, which is also another form. That's not the issue.
Mashed potatoes.
I'm not sure. That could be a problem also. It looks like it becomes like that. So everyone agrees, though, that you're allowed to shaboish and that you're allowed to make it in a way that you're stirring it. That means it's not a paste. It's not something that you need. It becomes like a liquid. It becomes like a drink. And you're also allowed to drink zeisem amitri, which is a Egyptian drink. It's some sort of laxative. The Gemara Pesachim says the ingredients that are in it. Now, if you tell me that shasisa, when it's loose, is made for medicine, for b'Shabbos mishari, so you avoided the kneading part, but you created another issue, and that's that it's medicine. You're not allowed to make medicine on Shabbos. So we said that it's shahakal, and our explanation why it was shahakal was because it's a medicine. It's not really something that's eaten regularly. But if you look at the Mishnah in Shabbos, it comes out that it probably shouldn't be made on Shabbos. The Mishnah in Shabbos says that it can be made. Amalei Abaya Vatli Tizbra. Abaya tells to Rabbi Yosef, there's his teacher, he says, you don't hold, Vatanan, we have another Mishnah. Kol Eichlen, Eichel Adam L'Refu B'Shabbos, L'Chol HaMashkin Shaisa, that you're allowed to eat any foods and you're allowed to drink any drinks, even though it's for medicine. Anything that's eaten normally. That's a normal food, so chicken soup, whatever. A cup of tea, even though sometimes it could be used for medicinal purposes, but healthy people eat it as well. So what are you going to say? You're going to say over there that the person is eating it for food. And here also he's eating it for food. The shasisa. So why is the bracha changing? Okay. Lishna achrina, there's another version of this, very similar. We just add in that word. What are you going to say that he's eating it normal? And the medicinal properties of it, the medicinal effects, that just happens automatically. So he's eating it normal, or for the medicinal effects just happen normally. So the bracha should remain the same. That's a Bais claim. Utzricha, the Rav and Shmuel, but we need the halacha of Rav and Shmuel. Oh, we're supposed to add Shmuel. Utzricha the Rav. We need the halacha of Rav that says that it's shakal nebidbari. The imei hai, if you would just have the halachas of Shabbos. I'm not sure. What does it mean? Imei hai, if you would have. The basis of the Bais alone, she could be prepared and drunk on Shabbos. So that would mean Hava mina la'achila kamachaven, or for Hava mina. I would have thought la'achila kamachaven or for meila kahava. I would have thought that he's eating it for food, and the medicine comes naturally. Aval hacha, but here kiven la'chatchila or for kamachaven le'levarach la'klal. Here he must be drinking it not for food. He must be drinking it for medicine entirely. Not because he's hungry. Kamash Malan, that even for medicine, it comes to teach us, given this layanamina, if you have enjoyment from medicine by brucha, you still don't need a bracha. But that bracha would not be the mezainas, the bracha would be shahakal, because it's a medicine. Okay. Sha'ala paso emer hamaitzi. On bread, we say hamaitzi lachem minaretz. Tanarabana. It's a brisa. What should he say? One of first opinion says, he says, who takes the bread out of the ground. I should read that differently. Who took bread out of the ground. That took also bread out of the ground. But do you say hamaitzi or do you say maitzi? It's funny because when you think about the brachas, we don't really say. We say hamaitzi, the one that
Maitzi matzah.
How does that work? That's alachilas matzah. But we say hamaitzi. We don't say habayre. Habayre pregadachem. Habayre meaning the There's this video of in the yeshiva Har Etzion, one of the they're singing Havdalah from who made the Havdalah, the tune they're singing. It goes it fits with the tune. It sounds like he's saying ha. He must be saying without the ha. Okay. So Reb Menachem says you have to say maitzi, and the Tanakama says you say hamaitzi. Amar Rava. Rava says the maitzi kuli amalei pligi. If you say maitzi, everyone agrees that it's good. The apik mashma. It means that he took out, brings out. Who brought out the bread from the ground. You see what we're doing here is we're saying a bracha on bread. The bread is already removed from the ground, the grain. So we need a past tense. So we want to say that God took the one that took the bread from the ground, and we're saying the blessing, over this bread. Tiksiv, when we have a source for that. Kel Maitzim Mitzrayim, the God that took them from Egypt. This is Bilam talking, which is after the Jews left. It has to be a past tense. Keep ligi b'hamaitzi. The machlekes is regarding hamaitzi. Rabbanan sabri hamaitzi dapik mashma. The Tanakama, which is the Rabbanan, they say it's also a past tense. Hamaitzi. Tiksiv hamaitzi l'chamay mitzarach halamish. That says it took water from the rock. This is Moshe Rabbeinu saying in Sefer Dvarim that he Is that a present? A present tense?
Matzo.
Hamaitzi l'chamayim, who took the water from the flintstone, from the tzur chalamish. Rabbi Menachem savar hamaitzi the mapik mashma. Rabbi Menachem says that hamaitzi is that will take. It's a future tense. Shenemar hamaitzi eschem mitachas evus mitzrayim. This is Moshe Rabbeinu telling the Jews, God will take you out from the burden of Egypt. What did the Rabbanan do about that pasuk? It looks like it's a future tense. They weren't redeemed yet. And Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them that God will take them out. He uses the word hamaitzi. The Rabbanan say, Hahu hachi kamalo. This is what he's saying. Hachi kamalo kutsh b'rechel Yisrael. This is what Hashem is telling the Jews. When I take you out, I'm going to do for you some things, miracles. That you will know that I was the one that took you out of Egypt. So he's saying like this, in the future you will know that I was the one that took you out, past tense. You will know that I am the one that took you out.
That's Gemara gymnastics.
Yeah.
In the future you will know.
Yeah. And Rabbi Menachem says like this. Rabbi Menachem says that it's really the machlekes is on the you will know. Is the you will know in the future a prediction? You will know that I was the one that took you out. Or is it an imperative? You shall know that I'm the one that's taking you out.
Often when he was at the rock and met Moshe, Hashem told Moshe, you will go and you will redeem me. I don't know if he used the word motzi, but
Yeah, okay, so but over here, it's the pasuk starts off that the Jewish people will know. You will know. What is that you will know? Is it you will know that I'm the one that will take you out? Is it a command, or is it a prediction that you will know in the future what happened in the past?
What about the pasuk? That seems to totally contradicting. The data, same like the data. Hayom, v'hashevota. Sounds like future, but it's really hayom.
My class after class, and I'll tell you about it.
I know it's not a answer.
are we going to learn the book on the minds?
I don't know. Could be. I don't remember.
Because doesn't that have the same issue?
I might see.
Don't disrespect the appropriate.
No, it's good answer.
Yishtabchen Rabbanan Reb Zera. The Rabbanan praised to Reb Zera as Barav Zvid. They praised this person that was called Barav Zvid. That's Achva de Reb Shimon Barav Zvid. That's a brother of Reb Shimon Barav Zvid. So this person is called Barav Zvid, and his brother actually has a first name. But they said that this fellow, this Barav Zvid, is a great person. Adam Gadolu, Ubaki bebrachos. He's an expert in brachos. Big deal. Amar lahem. He says, like very nice. When Barav Zvid comes, bring him to me. Reb Zera says. The one time he comes to him. Apikale riftis. Here's the test. Brings him bread. Wants to see what's going to happen. Pasach v'yamar maitzi. He says the bracha maitzi lechem and He doesn't say how maitzi. Amar zeu sheimer lav dadam gadol ubaki bebrachasu. This is the person that he claimed was such a big guy. He's such an expert. He amar ha maitzi. If he would have said ha maitzi, Ashminan time of Ashminan the Hilchos Karaban, I could have figured out the shot in the pasuk of v'yadaten. I would have known what it means, and I would have known what the halach is in Hilchos Brachos that we pass on like the Rabbanan, that you're allowed to say hamaitzi, aladam or maitzi, but he said hamaitzi. You avoided the whole machlekes. Mike Kamashal, what's he teaching me? The Iu David, why did he do it? Lafukin Hashem Miplukte, he didn't want to get involved in the argument. So
here we learned that being smart is keeping away from
the Hilchos and the halach is, look at this. Look at this. Look at the halacha. Hamaitzi lechem min haaretz. The halacha is the opposite. That you say hamaitzi. The kaimelan karabanan the amri dapik mashmin. Even though Taisva says, why shouldn't we paskin that halacha is maitzi? You avoid the machlekes. Why do we have to mix into machlekes? Taisva says that we have a problem with saying maitzi, because if we say Baruch Atah Hashem Melech Ha'olam maitzi, you might mix the mem of Ha'olam with maitzi. Ha'elam maitzi. So we say ha'maitzi. Taisa says 1 second. What about min lechem min? You can also swallow one of the mems and still have the 2 words there, and that's the problem. So Taisa says no. I have a pasuk that does that, and because there's a pasuk that does that, I don't have to be more strict than the pasuk. But it doesn't say maitzi. So that I don't have ha'elam maitzi. So for that, I have to do it more accurately to say ha-maitzi. So that way I separate the words. Taisus then says that when you hold the bread, you should put the 10 fingers on the bread because there's 10 words in that pasuk. See that? Isn't that an interesting Taisus? Okay.
You never saw that before, or you never saw
No, it's surprising when you find these things in Taisus. You think this is from I don't know, the Ben Ish Chai. Okay. And on vegetables, we say, what do we say on vegetables? Very priyadama. Tani, Yirakas Dumi the Pas. There's the vegetables are similar to bread. Ma pasha understand all they are. Just like bread is changed through the fire. Apirakas namish understand all they are. Also vegetables could be changed through the fire, and you still say hadama on cooked vegetables. Amar Rabnai Mishmei Abaya. Rabnai says the name of Abaya. This tells us shlakas mevartala barki hadama. Cooked vegetables, you say hadama on. And then you have these parentheses. And Darash Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda taught Mishum Rabbeinu, in the name of Rabbeinu. Umanu, who is that? Rav. Says, I think it's his father-in-law also. Says, and no, it's his father-in-law's father-in-law. So that's Rav. It's his wife's grandfather. Rav. Shlakais, vegetables, mevarchim aleim b'ri priyadama. You say hadama. Rab says that cooked vegetables, you say hadama. Rabbi Seinu Ayar Eretz Yisrael, and our rabbis that come down from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, Lomanu, who would that be? Ula. On the chart, I don't have the wife over there. But I learned somewhere that Rav Chisda married the daughter of Chanan Barava, who was the son-in-law of Rav. So, anyway.
You can like write names.
Maybe someone on ancestry.com put in the whole chart. So, Ula says, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Shlakas Mevarchalim Shakalim Bidvari. Very interesting. It's machlokes. What do you say on cooked vegetables? Cooked carrots, let's say. So, Rav says that it's Adama. And Rabbi Yochanan, at least according to Ula, says that it's Shahakal. Vani Aimer, and Rav Chisda himself says, it's not a machlokes. It depends. If it was edible raw, and you would eat it raw, and that's the way you eat it, and you say hadama on it. So shalka, once you cook it, shakalni bidvari, it loses its bracha. It was better off raw. Anything that originally was shakalni bidvari, you couldn't eat it raw. You would say shahakal if you would eat it raw. So shalka, once you cook it, then bari hadama, now you can eat it. You say hadama on.
What does that mean? If it starts at shahakal, now becomes adam.
Yeah, but if it starts shahakal, that means it wasn't really edible raw. So what's the purpose of this vegetable? Let's say. Well,
I think
mushrooms would be
onions
shahakal anyway.
Some even,
Yeah.
onions may be shahakal.
I remember one time I told Rabbi Shachat in Los Angeles. I told him that we were learning the Haggadah, and he said something about the onion. I said, onions are shahakal. He said, stop reading those Mishnaidish books. Apparently, in Russia, almost, in Russia, they would eat onions raw. And in other countries, they wouldn't eat onions raw. So it depends on which country you were in. But he gave me like a quick comment, like, it depends which country, so if you don't eat onions raw,
Of course you
they
know.
only cook. Well, for us in America, we're a mixture of everything. We have no minhag here. We're a collection of.
The correct minhag is you use red onions raw. That's why they put those
Yeah.
on burnt end. But the yellow and
Give it
white
up,
you're
give it up.
supposed to cook or whatever.
Okay.
Don't disrespect.
So do you follow what's happening? If you switch, if it's eaten raw, then you cook it. Then it's according to Rav Chisda, the way he's explaining this. Then it becomes Adam. If you eat it raw, you cook it. Then it becomes shahakal. If you don't eat it raw, you cook it. It becomes Adam. Okay. So bishlam shahakal. We understand something that starts off shahakal. Shalko, if you cook it, comes bar priyadama. What vegetables would that be? Starts off shahakal. So what are the vegetables that, according to in Bavel, they wouldn't eat it raw? It says mishkachasla. You can find this: the karba, the silko kra, cabbage, beets, and pumpkins. Those have to be cooked. Cabbage, I'm a little
According
surprised
to the
about,
Iraqi.
but the beets and the pumpkins, that's the way we have it. Right. Ella, well, they didn't have the mayonnaise, I guess. Ella kolshet chilase bari priyadama, but anything that starts bari priyadama, what gets worse? What's shalku becomes shahakal? Heichem mishkachasla. What could that be? Rav Menachem bar Yitzchak. This is going to be very surprising. Mishkachasla, you find this betumi v'karti, by garlic and leeks. When you cook the garlic, you ruin it. And Taisus has to explain why it seems to us that we eat it and it tastes better cooked. But he says, no, that's because the flavor of the meat that's in it, but really the garlic itself is better raw. And leeks, usually we cook the leeks also, right?
Yeah, we could.
Anyway, so they must have had a different variety. Darish Rav Nachman Mishum Rabbeinu. Rav Nachman taught in the name of Rabbeinu. Who's Rabbeinu? Rav. That was Rav Chisda. But Rav Nachman's Rabbeinu is a man of Shmuel. Rav Nachman learned by Shmuel. He says like this: Shlakis mevarchem aleim bari priyadama. Cooked vegetables is hadama. Okay, same thing that Rav said. The Chavirino Ayar the Meretz Yisrael, and our friend that comes from Meretz Yisrael. Notice the shift in the title here. Before he said Rabbi Seinu, Rav Chisda, he says Chavirino. Umanu, and who is that Ula? Rav Nachman must have been more important, and he called Ula a friend instead of Rav Chisda that called him a teacher. He says Ula Mishmei de Rabbi Yechon Mishlakis Mavarcham Leim Shaklim Midbar. He says that cooked vegetables are shahakal. Bani Yomer, and Rav Nachman says, but Machlekes Shnoya, that this goes back to be a Machlekes. Rav Chisda tried to take away the Machlekes. Rav Nachman says no, this Machlekes goes back earlier. The Tanya was taught Yotzim Baraka Kashari Matzah. You can use a soaked wafer. And if it's cooked, as long as it didn't dissolve. Rabbi Yossi says no. You can soak it in water, yes, and be yotzim matzah. Not the brachos.
Not on Pesach.
On Pesach, but you can't cook it.
Pesach.
We don't get our matzah wet. But in those days, they had a different sort of matzah. So you could soak it, but you can't cook it according to Rabbi Yossi, because once you cook it, it loses its original status. It's not considered bread anymore. So what do we see? Is that Rabbi Yossi holds that once you cook it, it becomes like shahakal, like for vegetables as well. It starts adama, you cook it, it would turn to a shahakal.
Does that include deep fried?
Probably. Now, v'loihi, but it comes out. The Gemara says that it's really not an early machlekes. It's not, this machlekes is not the same. Why? The kol yal mashlakas bevarchim by pradam. It could be that vegetables are hadam according to both Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Meir. Badkam like Rabbi Yossi Hasam, and over there Rabbi Yossi said that it changes its status after it's cooked. Mishum debin and tam matzah v'leka, because you need the flavor of the matzah. Not because it's losing its status, you just don't have the flavor. But over here Rabbi Yossi would agree that I know the flavor changes, but it's still hadama. Rab Chia Barab Rab Yechna. Yeah, but there is something about the taste of the matzah. That actual taste that is supposed to be kept intact. Rab Chia Barab says in the name of Rabbi Yechna. Let me show you. Rav Chia Baraba is the student directly under Rabbi Yochanan, which is put there strategically because of this Gemara that we're going to have right here. Rav Chia Baraba says, "Shlakis mevarchem leim b'pei adama." exactly like Rav said, exactly like Shmuel said, cooked vegetables are hadama. Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes am Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes says the name of Rabbi Yochanan Shlachas Mevarchim Aleim Shakalim B'Dvari. Cooked vegetables are shahakal. So we have an argument what Rabbi Yochanan says. Amar Rab Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Rab Nachman Bar Yitzchak comments on this. He says Kava Ula L'Shtabeshta Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes. Ula established in the state that what was Rabbi Yochanan's opinion based on the words of Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes. Tai Bar Rab Zera is surprised. Chima Inyan Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes Eitzel Rab Chia Bar Abba. What is Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes doing next to Rab Chia Bar Abba? Rab Chia Bar Abba Daik Begam Shmaita Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi. Rab Chia Bar Abba was exact, and he learned from his Rabbi Yochanan's teacher. Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes lay Daik. Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes wasn't precise. It wasn't exact. Rabbi Chia Bar Abba Kaltlas Yamin Mahad Mudakami Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi. Chia Bar Abba would review his learning every 30 days in front of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes lay Mahad. He wouldn't review it every 30 days or in front of his teacher. Right, Barmandain, besides for this, the Hu Turmasa, there was this turmus, which is a type of bean, I think. The Shalkale Sheva Zimna, what is it? Refried beans. That you had to boil it 7 times to be able to make it edible. I don't know how they learned that, but and then they would eat it as a dessert. They asked Rabbi Yochanan, he told them, you break the bracha on it is Bar Adama. Rabbi Yochanan holds that to cooked vegetables, cooked beans are Adama. Rabbi Bar Abba says, and here he says Rabbi Yochanan, I saw Rabbi Yochanan Shachal Zayas Maliach, that he ate a salted olive. Salted, according to the Gemara, is the same status as cooked. And he made a bracha at the beginning and the end. If you say that cooked vegetables retain the same status as before they're cooked, before he said and afterwards he says an Allah it's an olive. But if you say that they don't retain their status, then that must have meant that he says a shahakal beforehand. But what does he say afterwards? After shakal, you're not going to say al eitz. Is going according to the opinion that that you don't count burn nefashis Shabbos as one of the. We had this once before, either because it's not an original bracha, it was made later, or because there's an opinion that says it's only said on meat and something else. So Dilma burn nefashis Shabbos chosen al kamasha bar. No, you have no proof from that one because that could have been that you say burn nefashis. Okay.
So we go.
Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes. Oh. What's the halacha?
No, I'm saying like did they upschlagen? They didn't upschlagen.
No, he just made this comment that Ula was coming and telling us what Rabbi Yochanan held. He was relying on Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes, and basically Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes gets thrown under the bus.
What do you make on steamed vegetables?
Yeah, most of our vegetables we're saying hadama as well. If it loses its significant status. No, but let's say you cook something. Let's say you cook a tomato. That's not. It becomes not as good. Yeah. There's a taste of here discusses different types of chestnuts if they lose the ha'eds and anyway. Okay. Next piece. Masav Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Shmuel. Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Shmuel asks a question. Those vegetables that you can use for maror, you could use them, you can use the stalk. But don't pickle them. Don't cook them at length. And don't cook them just a bit. Don't cook them at all. If you say that they retain the status after they cook. What's the problem? Cook them. There you go. Gemara says Shani Hasam din tamar. But there it has to taste like maror, losing the flavor. We gave specific species that taste like maror. When you cook them, it's going to taste like something else. Nothing to do with the bracha. Faleki, you don't have the flavor. Rabbi Yirmi Rab Zera. Rabbi Yirmi says to Rab Zera, Rabbi Yochanan Heichem Mevarich al Zayis Maliach. What was the after bracha that Rabbi Yochanan said on that salted olive? Given the shakilna legarina, because he took out the pit. Batzalei shiurei. So he doesn't have a shear. You see, you need to eat a kazayas. You need to eat the olive size. Now he ate an olive.
No one ever ate the pit.
But he didn't eat the pit. So the olive size includes the pit. He ate an olive without the pit. So what's the after bracha that he said? Amarlei, he said to me, Sabras Kazayas Gadol. Do you think that the shear of a kazayas is a big olive? Kazayas Beini Binan. He ate a big olive. You take out the pit, it's the size of a medium-sized olive. He still had a shear. The one that they gave to Rav Yeshua was a big one. He still had a shear afterwards. The Tanan. It's taught in the Mishnah. Zayish, the olive that they said, like cotton, like it wasn't small, wasn't big, it was a medium-sized olive. That's the size olive that we need to measure shiurim. You have to go back, and the archaeologists have to find olive pits and tell us what size the original olive. The Zeo Aguri. This is the Aguri. This is the medium-sized olive. That's when they sold it. They would say this is the Aguri olive. Rabbi says actually its name isn't Aguri. Ella Avruti Shmai. It's actually called Avruti. Samrusi Shmai. Some say it's called Samrusi. Aguri. So why do they call it Aguri if that's not his name? This olive has its oil collected or stored inside, not like other fruits where you have to put them through a juicer to get the. With this, you just squish and it comes out like a grape. Okay, Nema Ketanai. Let's say that the halacha regarding cooked vegetables is a machlekes much earlier. Goes back to the time of the Tanai. There were two students that were sitting in front of, the Bar Kapara, sitting in front of Bar Kapara. Bar Kapara was, what does it say? Bar Kapara, the day he died, I think Rabbi Yehuda was born. He had a Gemara like that. Bar Kapara is down here on the chart. He's a student of Rabbi, but for some reason he's being called Tana.
So what was Rabbi Yehuda Gilgal of him, or just happened?
That's the Gemara says like these things that on the day that he died, this one was born. Maybe it's referring to the Zarach Hashemesh, Shabbat Hashemesh, the 100 Trei Talmidei Devyasmi Kamed Bar Kapara. Hivil in front of Kruv, they brought in front of these students a cabbage with dermaskin. Dermaskin is some sort of cooked vegetable. Rashi quotes an opinion that it's a prune. Prunes, Rashi says. I don't know what actel dish is. It's an old French. And upargios. Pargio, which is like chicken schnitzel.
Oh, yeah, young chicken.
Young chicken. So they have these items on the table. Nasan Bar Kapara Shus Lechem Mem Levarech. Bar Kapara says, "Oh, one of you go ahead and say the blessing." So kafatz ubarach ala pargio. This one of them jumped and he said the bracha on the chicken. So Ligligalav Chaveir, his friend laughed at him. Cost Bar Kapara. Bar Kapara gets angry. Amar, he says, I'm not angry at the one that said the wrong bracha. Ella ala malaglag anikayas. It's not the wrong bracha, the wrong item. I'm angry at the one that laughed. If your friend appears like someone that never ate meat in his life, and that's why he jumped to eat it. This was like the exciting thing for him. So why are you laughing at him? I think what he means to say is that this was considered chavir. This was considered, you make the bracha on the one that you enjoy most. So he never ate meat. This was the most exciting thing. He said the bracha on that.
So why was he laughing at him?
The friend laughed at him.
Because he jumped to
Because he said the bracha on the wrong thing. You're supposed to say hadama or something. Yeah, that's how they got along. So then he went and said, I'm not angry at the one that laughed. I'm angry at the one that said the bracha. It means to angry at both.
Is that why we make the bracha on the first fruit before we wash? Because it's something that
Rosh Hashanah.
That has to do with the Shechianu that we just said in the Kiddush. That's it. So Bar Kapara says, Im chachma ein kan, zikna ein kan. Even if you don't consider me wise, but at least I'm older than you. You should have asked which one to say the bracha on. Don't jump ahead. Just ask the question. Tana was taught to Shneim Leitzir Shnasam that neither of them outlived the year. My love, but it must be that this is the machlekes. The Mavarich Savar, the one that said the bracha held, Shlakas Sepagei Shakal Nebidvari. Cooked vegetables and chicken is both shehakal. So chavavadik. So when you have the same bracha, you say the blessing on the one that you like more. But malaglik savar, the one that laughs at shlokas is bari adama. The cooked vegetables was adama. Pagi shakal yemabari holkach perad. So therefore, the fruit was you say it on the bari adama. So the Gemara says like it's not necessarily that that's the machlekes. The kuli alma shlokas pagi shakal yemabari could be everyone holds that it's shehakal. And really, the machlekes is like this. Mar savar chavavadik. One said the one that you enjoy is better. And the other one held the marsav kruva design. Another one said that the cabbage is better because that's sustaining, that's nourishing. It's a Gemara that says that it fills a person up.
Is cabbage a plant protein?
Let's go one drop further. Amar Rav Zeir says, Kavina Bei Rav Huna. When I was in the house of Rav Huna Amarlan, he told us, Ani Gargalide the lifter. These turnip heads, Parminu Prima Rabba. If they're cut big into big pieces, then it's Bari Priadama. Prima Zuta, if it's small pieces, Shakal Nebidvari, then you say Shakal. When it came to Rabbi Yehuda Amarlan, he told us, so this is Rab Zeira saying that he was by Rav Huna's house. What is this again? Huna's yeshiva. This is turnip heads. Lifta is turnip. Rav Yehuda says, "Idi bari priadama." You say bari priadama, whether it's cut big or cut small. By the perminut tray, this that you cut it more. That's just so you get a better, more sweetness out of it when you cut it more. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Turnip heads. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Maybe this the version of this Friday when they laugh.
Oh.